where people think, oh my gosh, fat is fat. If I eat fats, I'm going to get fat. Isn't that how it works? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video with Logan. This is Logan's Lift Tips. I'm a personal trainer who digs into some things we see online, and then I try to use some science to back it up or dismantle it, depending on which direction they go with it. So today we're going to be looking at general nutrition. I see a common theme on TikTok where a lot of people go over these claims that, oh, you can lose 10 pounds of fat in 1 week by doing XYZ. And I think a lot of people who are impressionable, typically younger audience, will not necessarily do their own research and take that as fact, and then all of a sudden they get discouraged when they're drinking this magical shake that's they're not letting them lose weight in 1 week. And we're going to go over some different ways of calculating your calorie intake, what macronutrients are, micronutrients, and that type of thing. So to get started though, let's take a look and see what the common theme is on TikTok. So you're going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week, 1 liter of water, 1 whole lemon, 1 cube of ginger, 1 cup of pineapple. You blend that, 1/2 cup of cucumbers, and then all of a sudden, day 1, you're 126. So I'm assuming this is accumulation where they did quite a few videos, and yeah, they probably did lose 10 pounds. However, do you think that that 10 pounds was all fat? Or do you think that that 10 pounds may have been 7 pounds of water weight, and then maybe cleared out their digestion, which is probably another couple pounds, and then, since they're in a caloric deficit, they probably lost about 0.5, maybe 1 pound of fat throughout that time. So that would be my thoughts on it. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with doing some sort of fasted routine. However, if your goal is to lose 10 pounds 7 days, I would take another approach. If you're strictly trying to lose fat, take another approach. I'm going to show you how you can actually do that. So today we're going to be looking at general nutrition. To get started, let's ask ourselves a few questions. How do I lose fat? How do I gain muscle? What are macros? What are micros? Counting calories? Which diet is best for me? So where do you get started? I think that is a fantastic question to ask, and one that I used to ask myself when I was first getting started. So aspects to consider. This is kind of a step-by-step guide on how you get to that point that you know what your goal is. So, for instance, we want to set a SMART goal, which is an acronym that we'll dive into in a second, and then have a fairly decent or general understanding of what micronutrients are, macronutrients, calorie intake, and then lastly, we choose a diet method. So, what is a SMART goal? So, a SMART goal is a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goal. So, like I said, it's an acronym. Let's take a look at this example. In 2 months, I will lose 10 pounds by eating 2,500 calories a day and burning 300 calories by running on the treadmill for 20 minutes. So, as we look over at the acronyms, it's specific because it states you're going to burn 300 calories from cardio and you're going to have a diet of 2,500. It's measurable because we can physically see that we're losing weight by using a scale. You can see if you're going to lose that 10 pounds or not. It's attainable because you're not going to be starving yourself to get to that point. You don't have to do some drastic diet to lose that much weight. Kind of rolls into being realistic. This is a safe amount of weight to lose. And it's timely. It's within 2 months. We set a date. If I'm not done at this time, I didn't achieve my goal. Here's my game plan. That's what a SMART goal is. It's a game plan of how you will actually achieve that goal. Next up here, we're going to look at macros, micros, and calories. So, with that being said, major macronutrients are going to be carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Minor macronutrients are going to be water and fiber. Carbohydrates are roughly 4 calories per gram. Fats are about 9 calories per gram, and proteins are 4 calories per gram. You have to remember, calories is a unit of measurement to equate essentially of how much you can burn. This is based off of the USDA National Agricultural Library. So how many calories are in 1 gram of fat, carbohydrate, or protein? So carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram, protein provides 4 calories per gram, and fat provides 9 calories per gram. You can view this information at the bottom of the nutritional facts panel on food packages. Minor macronutrients. So these two here, water and fiber, are something that are insanely neglected. A lot of people think, oh yeah, I drink plenty of water, but do you? Do you actually drink enough water? The recommended daily allowance of water is, so looking here on, let's see what source we're on. This is right here. So about 15.5 cups of fluid for men a day and about 11.5 cups for women. So this ties right into how much exercise you actually put in or how active you are. I would titrate up depending on how much exercise you do per day. And you'll see that a lot of times people will implement electrolytes as well. So whether it's salt, potassium, or like a Gatorade or something that has all those micronutrients covered, that's another thing I recommend my athletes that I train to implement, because that's going to help restore all the hydration, or the dehydration, I guess, that you have in your body, and have it rehydrated. Fiber, as I recall, is about 45 grams per day for men, and then around 30 grams per day for women. I'll double check on that and have it up here on the screen if there is any issues. But fiber is essential, water is essential, and obviously carbs and fats you can't live without. Same with protein. What does each micronutrient do? This is a very important question to know, because a lot of times you'll see people who demonize certain macronutrients, especially fats. I feel like they get a horrible rep where people think, oh my gosh, fat is fat. If I eat fats, I'm going to get fat. Isn't that how it works? Carbohydrates are energy as glucose, so it's mainly sugar. It is stored as glycogen in your muscles, and what that does is that is your quick energy. So it regulates your major organs, your central nervous system, and cholesterol. When glycogen is stored in your body, think about this. If you are first going into a workout, that first little bit, whether it's cardio or weightlifting, you're going to feel much stronger, or in a sense much more powerful, because you have this stored up glycogen. And as you burn through that glycogen through your workout, you're going to start to feel you drop off a little bit, and then it's gradually going to go back up. That's something to dive into in another video, but essentially the Spark Notes version, you're going from burning your glycogen into the fat resource. So moving on, fats kind of ties into what I was saying. It is long-term energy, so it's essential for fat-soluble vitamins and protects your bones and organs. And then lastly, protein. I'm sure everybody knows what that does, or if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen some buffed out dude talking about it. Protein builds and repairs your muscles. It's essential amino acids and your bones, creates hormones, and it creates enzymes. So it plays a much larger role than people think. People think just eat protein powder, you're going to get big. But in reality, this regulates a lot of things, and the enzymes in your stomach and literally your whole body, along with the production of hormones. Think of protein as the building blocks for your muscles. Think of carbs as the quick energy for your muscles, or what stores in your muscles, in your liver, as your quick energy. And think of fats as your long-term energy and your transports for vitamins. So minor macronutrients, as I touched on before, fiber and water. Fiber falls under a carb, so it is actually a carbohydrate, but that's more geared towards healthy digestion and satiation. So real quick, satiation is essentially the feeling of being full. And then lastly, water. Water, as you all know, is the most essential part of your diet. It regulates your body temperature, your digestion, absorption, transportation, like everything in your body needs water to operate correctly. How many grams of each macro do I need a day? So this is where we're going to kind of move into caloric intake and determining whether you want to be bulking, cutting, maintaining, whatever it is. This is how you determine what that calorie breakdown is of the macronutrients. So understanding caloric intake. So this is how you make a rough estimation at determining your caloric intake. There's obviously more in-depth ways to do it. We'll show you an example of that in a second, but if you need something quick and easy that's just going to be a rough estimate, you can definitely use this method. So as you'll see here, here's my example. You take your body weight times 14 and you get your lower part of your caloric window. Then you take your body weight times 18 and you get the upper end of your caloric window. So your caloric window is going to be 2100 to 2700. So now you're like, I have 600 grams of, or 600 calories to play with. Where do I fall in that? That is where your activity level comes in. So, that is where your activity level comes in. So Depends on how many times you exercise per week, and potentially beyond that. I would more look at the calories burnt to figure out where you want to be. But let's say you exercise 1 to 2 times a week. Typically you're going to be around 2,100 calories. Exercise 2 to 3 times a week, 2,300 calories, and so on and so forth. So the more accurate way to do that is, I would say, never go below your 2,100 reference range. I would see how much cardio I'm burning a day. You could use something like an Apple Watch, or just log it in like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, and then you can see how much you're burning and correlate that to your lowest reference range. So like, let's say you're burning 400 calories a day in cardio, I would say eat 2,500 calories and be on the low end of 2,100. But it's really personal preference. If that feels like it's too low for you, you could implement another 100 calories or more throughout the day. And again, this is an easy estimate. I wouldn't recommend doing this for everybody. I would look down here at the more accurate estimate, the calorie calculator, at calculator.net. It determines your base metabolic rate and correlates to your calories. So since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so we are over here at calculator.net. We're going to want to figure out what our BMR is, and then our calorie calculator. So to pull in an age here, I am, good Lord, 22. I literally forgot my date. 5'10". I wish. I'm gonna err on the side of about 5'9" with on a good day. And normally I fluctuate right around 160 to 155, but I've been cutting for the past few months, so I'm sitting at about 148, 149. I guess, how did it already have 149 in there? Weird. Okay. And I exercise, about 4 to 5 times a week. Let's go ahead and calculate this. So to maintain weight, I should be sitting at about 2,400 calories per day, about that for mild weight loss, and extreme weight loss. For you guys, do not do extreme weight loss. This is a ridiculous amount of weight to lose. You're going to be losing more muscle than you would be fat. Not worth it. If you're going to be trying to lose weight, I would say keep it very low. If you want to keep your strength and keep your muscle mass, keep it about 0.5 pounds per week. I know it's not going to be as rewarding in that aspect, but once you get down to a proper weight, you're going to start to realize, like, I'm so glad I did that because I was able to keep my strength and muscle mass. There's an argument to be made that in an extreme caloric deficit, the mental lack of stimulation that you get, one, from not having food, and then the fact that your strength is going to just plummet, I would not recommend that. At the very lowest, I would maybe sit right at about 2,000 calories. I don't think I would break that barrier of under 2,000. Yeah, this is the calorie calculator. I think I mentioned it was the BMR before. The BMR is slightly different. That is your base metabolic rate. So that is the amount of calories you need for your everyday functions in your body to work. This is not taking into account exercise or how active you are. So I would look at the calorie calculator, and then you could take a look at the BMR calculator. So same thing, we'll throw in my age, 22, 5'9" on a good day, and then I'm sitting at about 149. So let's calculate that. Yeah, so see how much lower my base metabolic rate? Ugh! What the f? Alright, so jumping back after taking a little look at the calorie calculator, let's continue on here. So let's see what macronutrient percentage breakdown of your calorie intake. So this is where it kind of plays into what you're going to be eating, because there's a few different diet methods you can do, but really this is what matters. So fats, on average, you're going to be looking at about 30% of your caloric intake. Carbohydrates about 50%, proteins about 20%. Like I said, there's a few diet models where you can adjust. For instance, like a keto diet, you're going to be much lower on the carbohydrates and increase that with fat and protein. But based off this example, this would be like a if it fits your macros type of thing. Caloric maintenance of about 2,700. Fats, you'd be looking at 101.25 grams. Carbs, 337.5 grams. And then proteins, 135 grams per day. So calculation here, you do your caloric maintenance, you multiply that by the percentage in decimal form, you get your calories, Then you take those calories, divide them per gram, and that's your amount per day. So pretty basic math stuff, but I feel like it's worth outlining here so you guys can take a look at it. If you're more active or more into the bodybuilding scene, typically I'd like to see the protein closer to 30% and then take that out of your carbohydrates and potentially a little bit out of your fat, but you're still going to want to have a decent amount of fat in your diet, especially on a bodybuilding regimen. Protein, there is a common theme where people think that you need to have 1 gram of protein per pound in your body. There's arguments going both ways. One says that that's tough on your kidneys and digestive system because it's hard to get all of that out of whole foods, and you'd have to be supplementing with protein powders that are tough on your stomach. However, I do feel like having a higher protein value is more important. Obviously, digestion is very important, but if you want to be building muscle and not starving your body at all, having higher protein is going to definitely play in your favor. And there's things that you can do to mitigate having issues with that. You can have other types of protein that are not as bad on your stomach. You could, in theory, just have a lot more meat throughout your day and then supplement with the appropriate amount of fiber. So that's a topic for another video as well, but this is a rough breakdown of your macronutrients in correlation to a maintenance level of carbohydrates. That is probably going to be it for today, guys. We're going to dig into our dieting in the next episode of the nutrition installment. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload. Drop in a comment down there for the algorithm. It really helps me out. The more people who comment on it, the more my video gets recommended to other people. And if you like my information, I would greatly appreciate if you could do that for me. I'll try to get back to as many people as I can. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.